Brodes Media.
I gotta tell you, I've loved every second of mocking the Cowboys today. Monday, everyone's got the big juicy storylines, and the first thing I see, the second I turn on my television with my cup of coffee this morning, is Micah Parsons throwing Mike McCarthy to the wolves. He goes, I don't care where McCarthy goes. I don't care if he's here, if he's elsewhere. I look at guys like Zach Martin and respect the effort they've put in since they got into this league, and we want to succeed for them. I'm paraphrasing, but that is literally the textbook definition of throwing the head coach who takes all the shots for you every single week. He's getting thrown under the bus. It's a dumpster fire, and it's a beautiful thing to witness from a distance. There's more beauty here, though. The Eagles are damn good. Damn good. And I am so ready to break through this shield, whatever was covering me, to truly open up my heart and love this group. I've always had something, a hard shell that was stopping me from embracing them. I'm a little nervous, if I'm being wide open and honest here. I'm a little nervous to say that this week, with Thursday being the swing game for me. You have to win Thursday for all these games after the bye to hold more weight. And I do think they will, and I believe in them, and I think they can. So I'm all in with this football team, but actually watching the W, seeing them roll through a team that they're fighting with for the top of the NFC East, it goes a long way for the morale. And I need it just to be sure. Because the whole Nick thing and in-game decisions, Cooper Rush hasn't beaten anybody. Mike McCarthy's been in this league since what feels like 1543. He's never had an offense look that putrid. That's what happens when there's someone who's incapable of doing anything, taking the snaps. Will those issues that Nick has shown previously pop up in a tighter matchup? Or is it even going to be tight? Will the Eagles demolish them? And Saquon is another star for another week. Dude, he's doing so much greatness that Nike is now starting a new campaign, right? Like, that's how fucking filthy this man has become. I'm watching LeBron James walk into stadiums rocking Nike's backwards hurdling campaign. Maybe they just go right into the middle of the ring and punch their fucking brains out. And oh my God, if they do, I am going to be electric. I'm ready. I'm ready to embrace them like never before. I'm just waiting for Thursday to happen, but I know what is going to happen. I'm just waiting for it to happen. I've been harsh. I've been extremely critical. I've been big on the eye test and what it feels like to me week to week. And reasonably so. I wasn't fully where I wanted to be early on. But now the vibe I'm getting, this is Jalen Hurts being an MVP again. His throws are so perfect for these big bombs, these big long shots downfield. They make SportsCenter top 10. Not that that's the end-all be-all, but I'm sort of using that just as a description more so than the technicality of it. The wow, splashy, incredible, ridiculous play that some teams get one or two of in a 9-game stretch, they're having more than one on a night-to-night basis. And it's because they're so elite that you have to respect Saquon. You can't let that just beat you down. So when you do, it just opens up so much more flexibility with how you want to handle the passing game. So it's either Saquon eats you alive, runs you over, gashes through you, or you sell out, and then good luck with Goddard. Did you see that touchdown? That Selly, too, was hard. That Selly, him in the end zone, okay? You saw Johnny Wilson getting in there. It's ridiculous. There's so many layers to this, and it's starting to really form, just like the defenses. Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell are stealing the show. And it's so funny because I'm having deja vu as I'm sitting in this chair talking to you right now. I feel for the last 3 weeks, them as a duo, those two names, the way that they fly out of my mouth, it's like I just sit here in awe and reflect on how dominant they are and how much their personalities matter, how much they have changed the identity of how strong this defense could be. And Zach Bond, too. Maybe finally Howie Roseman can realize what a game-changing linebacker can do to your entire makeup. If this isn't enough to see it, I don't know if we will ever get it through the thick skull of Howie. But those three in particular, it's so lethal. I watched the Lions, right? Gritty way to win when your quarterback throws 5 interceptions. Granted, some injuries are going down right now for the Houston Texans. That was a great win that teams with a special future, they pull those ones out. The Eagles are starting to get a very similar feel to the Lions. I know what it's like because we've experienced it before. It's something I never want to forget, and it's something I always want to have. Now that we are in that territory again, I'm ready to pounce. Good for Nick Sirianni. Good for Nick Sirianni. He's controlled, and he controlled this. Both of those are true. He controlled the locker room. He controlled the messaging. And he controlled himself. And now we are getting something that makes more sense. It got out of touch. He reeled it back in. Not easy to do. That's extremely hard to do, especially when there's so much pressure on you, knowing you've already let it spiral. So seriously, awesome for Nick. What I won't do, though, is let the Nick Sirianni guzzlers go to this crazy level that he's as good as Andy Reid or he's as good as some of these all-time greats because of his record to start his campaign. I don't want to sit here and shit on the head coach. I don't want to do that. I am opening up my heart and accepting who they are. And he's a part of this, and he deserves a lot of love if they continue to play this well. Listen, this is just the steps for me. This isn't the path that I would have necessarily signed up for myself. Just speaking about my emotions and how we got here and where we started and all of that. This isn't preferred. But I know that they deserve my love. They deserve my heart. Because as I've been using this phrase of something's brewing for a while now, it's brewed. It's brewed now. It was brewing. Now it's brewed. What do you do with it? That's the real question, and time will tell. So I do want to play this clip of Saquon Barkley, though, because it ties together on why maybe it looked the way it did previously, and now that they are ass kicking and they're putting wooden spoon to bare ass, just like Grandma Jean used to do when I got in trouble. Just kidding. I used to get mouth in my soap. Nope, soap in my mouth. I never truly got the wooden spoon. That was always the fear. Anyway, I digress. That's how much they are destroying these teams. It's like wooden spoon to bare ass. Why? Why did it take as long as it did? Well, take a listen to Saquon Barkley postgame.
Given how far it's kind of come since the bye, where it kind of 2-2 starts, a little bit rocky. What does it say?
I wouldn't say it's rocky. I think you guys made it seem rocky. No offense. You guys are doing your job, but panic outside of the locker room kind of, it was from outside the locker room. It wasn't in here. We had no panic. We kind of treated it like the preseason games, to be honest. That was kind of the mindset. It was like, all right, we're done with preseason. Now let's go get things shaking.
Now, does that make sense to all of you? I don't know if that was necessarily the message from day one, and that's how they were going to handle the first month of September, or is that something that they used to sort of push them into the right mindset once they had the early bye? That was the button that Nick pushed. Hey, that was our preseason. Let's tie a bow on it. It is what it is. We now have a ton of football in front of our face. Jalen, it's time to pop off. Saquon, keep doing your thing. Yo, Dallas, I promise we'll get you. I know we're going to incorporate you. You will get the touchdowns you're looking for. We'll find you in the end zone. The whole thing is about the spread wide open. And once we lock it in, good luck. No one's going to catch us. And now that's sort of the stance they have on it all.